my sleeve. So you pick up your sleeve, there we go, and we need to put the right sides together. So I'm going to turn this over and put my gauze on there with all the threads in my direction because you will have threads on there. Don't start picking them out, you don't need to do that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to close the lower edge of that sleeve. And you might want to put in some China tape or stay tape, as we say, because that might give this more support. So it's up to you. Like in this area, it might stretch a little bit, so we can put stay tape on while we're sewing. And now we can just sew this together with a 1 centimeter seam allowance. Now I can cut back my seam allowance. Don't cut it too short because we want to stitch our seam allowance to the lining. When we're sewing, make sure that this seam allowance here is facing into the lining, and then we top stitch on that edge. When you're sewing your sleeve, make sure that you pull the sleeve apart while you're doing it. That will automatically shorten the inner length that you've got. So you're literally holding it in the middle. So you're pushing it in, and that will create the same effect as a stay tape would have. So if you want to try this method, you can, of course, if you haven't got a stay tape in at the moment. For me, there is no iron-on interfacing anymore. I don't have any stay tape, so you can help yourself with these techniques if you've run out of your essentials. Now we're just going to fold over our little edge here, and then we're going to iron it with lots of steam. Look how beautiful that edge now looks. It is really firm. You could put piping in here, or you know, some gathers or a bit of lace, whatever you like. It really is a great way of working a sleeve. So I've got both my sleeves done now. The next step for our sleeves is to close the little seams here on the side. So you want to open this out on both sides. It's really, really simple, and we're going to sew those together. So just pin them together. Now we're going to sew across here, and that's it. We iron the seam flat first. Then we open out the seam, and then we iron the seam apart. So it's always the same. The next step is just to then take the sleeve and fold the edge over neatly and give that a little press as well. Now I'm going to just do a holding stitch all the way around so that it can't go anywhere. Now there's no gathers up in here, so if there were gathers up in here, we wouldn't need to do this, but because we don't, and I don't want this to like slip a little bit and then, you know, not look nice, I'm going to just put that holding stitch in all the way around on both sleeves.